Hello, dear friends. This is Lijiang, an ancient city that has a history of over 800 years. Lijiang was listed as the World Heritage Site in 1997. However, its history is more than that. As early as in the 1920s, American scientist and adventurer Joseph Rock came to Lijiang and did a lot of research on the Nashi culture. And after that, Lijiang became famous worldwide. And after it being listed on UNESCO's World Heritage Site in 1997, Lijiang attracted lots of tourists from abroad and China domestically. Lijiang became a hot spot for the tourists. So when I was in Lijiang almost 20 years ago, I was attracted by the local culture, traditional culture here, and gradually realized that there are more things for us to observe here. And one key issue is what is the impact of intangible cultural heritage affect the protection and the use of traditional culture here in Lijiang. When more and more tourists coming into Lijiang, a key issue is realized by the commentators and the scholars. That is the tension between commodification and authenticity of traditional culture. And this issue becomes more and more complicated after China ratified UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage Safeguarding Convention in 2004. So I was wondering, what is the difference between intangible cultural heritage and the traditional culture, which are used, protected, and commodified in a heritage town or city here in Lijiang or in other similar cases around the world? This is an old street in Lijiang, ancient town, where there are many shops here selling the cultures or other kinds of commodities. So my research specifically looked at those intangible cultural heritage here, where the local peoples commodify the traditional intangible cultural heritage for the tourists. There have been lots of criticisms that Lijiang has been very much commercialized. Yes, as you can see here, there are many shops here. However, my research looks at how the local people or the intangible cultural heritage practitioners use the intangible cultural heritage, for one hand, to suffice the needs of tourists, on the other hand, for their own needs. So my research question is not to look at what is the contradiction between commodification and authenticity, but in what ways or how the intangible cultural heritage practitioners can inherit, create, and recreate an intangible cultural heritage in the context of tourism. Why there is a contradiction between authenticity and commodification is mainly because the idea authenticity is looked at from an objective, materialist, or static approach. So my research takes a people-centered approach, which is also a subjective approach, to look at the agencies and the subjectivities of the intangible cultural heritage practitioners, to look at how and in what ways they can convey the value of intangible cultural heritage in a context of tourism. So I realized that there are different forms that can realize the values of ICH, from intrapersonal dimensions, from interpersonal dimensions, and also the association between the people and the objects, places, and the instrument. So I'm not asking questions how we can balance commodification on the one hand and authenticity, integrity, or other ideas on the other hand, but I'm asking questions how the environment, the policies, the institutes can facilitate the intangible cultural heritage practitioners to better convey and realize the intrapersonal, interpersonal values during the interaction between the cultural practice and the visitation of the tourists. My research and journey in Lijiang will never end because Lijiang is always changing and evolving with people coming in and coming out. However, my research focus is still on the culture holders in local community. welcome you to come to Lijiang to discover more with me in the future. Thanks.